welcome to Highly Questionable. This radiant man here took a 4-hour nap yesterday just so he could stay up late to hate LeBron James. Look at him. He's really happy. This is Izzy Gutierrez. What do you like on the show today?
I was going to say, Dan, I know it's only a few games in, but this LeBron experiment, it's too far west. I can't stay awake.
This guy can. Dale, papi.
Should we overreact to the Lakers' slow start?
Oh, my father could barely say it. He was so emotional about the Lakers starting not just 0-3, but the way they've started 0-3. And last night, they've got a 6-point lead with 55 seconds left, at least in part because LeBron was doing clutch things like this right here.
You mean calling a timeout that they don't have and getting away with it? That's a brilliant thing from LeBron James.
Well, that part wasn't brilliant, but then this part was a bit brilliant.
Yeah.
That's crazy right there. So at that moment, he's clutch, but then we bring you this later in the game. And he is bad in these situations. 15 seconds left on free throws. This is statistically so. He misses more of these in this situation than anyone in the league with this many attempts. And wow, that was a brutal way to lose one, Izzy.
It really was. And free throws has been sort of a mind bleep for him for a while now. He changes up his approach, his style every year, it feels like, on the free throw line. But that's not really what's going to be the big problem for the Lakers this year. If you want to talk about their 0-3 start and what the biggest problem is, they don't defend. That team has yet to defend. They have LaMarcus Aldridge out there looking like some combination of Karl Malone and Tim Duncan. And in the end, that's going to be the biggest problem for this team. They can't defend and they can't shoot enough threes. And we're also going to see what looks like the decline from LeBron James. Hear me out on this one. I know we've heard this before. But with the league going as fast as it's going, playing so fast, shooting so many threes, LeBron at his age, with his team not being able to shoot threes like that and not defend, you're going to see a decline in him. Maybe not necessarily in the numbers, but definitely in how he can elevate his team.
What we've seen here early in the season, though, is how strong the West is. Most of us have discarded San Antonio, but they didn't get anything from Kawhi Leonard, and they've replaced that nothing from last year with DeMar DeRozan. So there are a lot of teams like that out West. It's why people say that LeBron might have some difficulty getting to the playoffs.
I'm doing some math, you know. I tell you, it's getting very good. It's getting very interesting. The Lakers are on pace to go 0-82.
His math is accurate
that's
there.
Right. 0-3 is right there, you know.
Tricky math, but he got it.
Is Pat Shurmur the reason the Giants lost last night?
The Giants lose and fall to 1-6. I love the idea of two quarterback sneaks with no timeout, with the least athletic quarterback in the history of the league, who as an added bonus is also fossilized because he's near 50 years old. But let's check out here the call that Pat Shurmur makes on a 2-point conversion. This was the right play according to analytics. This was the thing to do. Analytics nerds have been waiting for a long time for a coach to arrive at this situation and make this decision. But again, there's the Eli Manning pass. It's a good call. It should have been successful, but the pass was in the wrong place to an open Odell Beckham. The problem here wasn't the call. It was the execution of it.
The execution from the very beginning, because if this is the way Pat Shurmur was going to play, he should have known that when the touchdown was called. But you notice, before they went to review, he had the kick team out there. And then all of a sudden it's, hey, go for two. It didn't seem like he had the conviction in it. And then down the stretch, like, if you're going to go ahead and be bold and say, I'm going to play the numbers game and go for two here and really trust my team, what are you doing with those sneaks, with the clock ticking down? It's just terrible football on his part. So you want to be the bold guy, great. Your teammates are going to pat you on the back. But you do that, that's the only thing the coach really needs to get right. Clock management and the little details he was terrible at.
If only the Giants had a running back that they could hand it to instead of having Eli Manning fall over.
The Giants, they announced today that they were trading a guy by the name of Eli. So everybody got excited in the locker room thinking that was Eli Manning, but it turned out to be Eli Apple. You know what I mean? The wrong Eli. You know what I mean?
Eli. Yeah.
They threw a pot in the locker room, you know. They had beer. And
that was awkward when Eli Manning
was still there.
Weird.
Are you starting to trust Jon Gruden's process?
Lose a lot and get first-round picks, trade the little talent that you have. I think all of us were stunned that Amari Cooper brought back a first-round pick. Keep in mind, this is a guy this year who has had 2 100-yard games, but in the other 4 games he's played, it's 4 catches for less than 40 yards. if that's what the Cowboys thought they wanted, a guy who's not creating separation, they could have just rehired Des Bryant and kept their first-round pick.
It is the bigger mystery of the two between what are the Raiders doing and what happened to Amari Cooper. That second one is the more difficult question because I told you back when they traded Khalil Mack that I like the idea of getting rid of what you have now for the future, if those future includes multiple first-round picks. And now they've got 5 in the next 2 drafts. There really is no pressure for the Raiders to be good or start being good until 2020.
And in the meantime, the only cost is the totally ruined confidence of Derek Carr.
Yeah. Maybe use one of those draft picks on another quarterback.
He has to be very excited about these high draft picks, you know? Maybe he'll get the pass rusher and the wide receiver.
Maybe.
Are the Jaguars making a mistake by sticking with Blake Bortles?
Bortles is his name. He continues to pronounce it Bottles for reasons that are meant to just bother me, I'm pretty sure. So the question is, would you rather die of bubonic plague or leprosy? Because the Jacksonville Jaguars do not have a quarterback. They've got a mobile guy that will start for them that we all know to be vaguely incompetent. Since arriving in the league in 2014, Blake Bortles has more turnovers by 10 than any player in the sport. That's the only thing he has to not do. Don't turn the ball over, but he can't manage it, and his backup isn't any better.
There was a story, to go back to the Raiders for a second, about how in that locker room, David Carr's relationship with his teammates is fractured. Imagine what the relationship is between Blake Bortles and his defensive teammates in particular, because he's worse and they have higher expectations. I think just to give that defense a boost of motivation, you have to bring in the backup. It could be anybody. Just say, hey, don't be as bad as Blake Bortles, and then we will pick up the pace here. We will win the way we're supposed to as a defense. Stop giving the ball away. Cody Kessler, just hang on to it, and we will be okay. I think that's the move. If you start Bortles now, I think you're telling that defense, just keep doing what you're doing, which is not as good as it was last year, and we'll be okay, and they're supposed to believe that. Why?
Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow.
I mean...
Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow.
I mean, it's not ridiculous.
Tim Tebow, that's right.
It is ridiculous, but it's not. It's not.
But it is.
If the Dodgers win the World Series, is the Red Sox season for not?
Okay, Red Sox is the word. It sounded like he said something else, which is what that fan base will be saying if this, the best Red Sox team that I believe I've ever seen, doesn't win the World Series. This World Series feels to me as lopsided as the one that Jose Canseco and Tony La Russa were in with Mark McGwire and all of these stars against Kirk Gibson's injury to get the home run. Baseball is random. The math, all of it is advanced now, and we understand that anything can happen in a postseason, even one as lopsided as this. But if the Red Sox do not win, it will be one of the biggest failures in their history because this is, as I said, the best Red Sox team I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that whole narrative of the curse is over because it would seem like they are set up for this, right? 108 wins, beating the 100-win Yankees, beating the 103-win Astros, and the level of disappointment if they can't beat this Dodgers team would be so great. And you think about it, this Dodgers team is essentially an underachieving team. If they get 2 great performances from Kershaw, if they get Bellinger to keep going after that Game 7, if they get a good Puig, they could match up with the Red Sox. I'd be a little scared if I were the Red Sox for all the reasons you said. This season has so many positives for them, but it has to officially now end with a World Series win.
Did you say that the Dodgers can win if they get 2 good starts from Clayton Kershaw?
That's right. The analysis you need. Laughing and choking. This is amazing.
Yeah, there it is.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
Really? The elbow?
That's right.
The elbow? You want
right.
to sell that?
Yeah,
People are not selling that to them. They would never accept that. They would reject that. You think it's funny, don't you?
My Son's TV show is brought to you by Wendy's new sauce on bacon classic cheeseburger.
Yum.
When tracking the domestic dust bunny, you commonly find them hiding under wardrobes next to lost socks. Don't move too suddenly or they'll scurry off. What's utterly fascinating about the dust bunny is that although they are not actually sentient creatures, when they hear that Geico not only saves people money, but also has a 97% customer satisfaction rating, it's obvious to them you should switch. Because yes, switching to Geico is a no-brainer. Oh no, it's the dust bunny's only natural predator. Run along, dust bunnies, run along.
Time to play the game that is so disappointed when restaurants give you a side of chips instead of French fries. Do you question?
I don't know. Sometimes when they make them in-house, they're pretty good. You give us topics and events, we question them.
What's he talking about?
CC one that the ball stays on the helmet. Do you question if number 80 deserves praise for this catch?
I believe my father just mumbled under his breath, is this the play where the football gets stuck in the helmet? I don't know, but we go out to Virginia. Number 80. That's a bad number if you're a high school fat kid like me. 88 is also bad.
All right.
It did not get stuck in the helmet. It came out of the helmet.
I think the Giants are going to draft this guy soon before Eli Manning retires.
Oh, my God. That's pretty good right there. Why wouldn't we give him credit for this catch?
I mean, it's awareness. He turned around. He looked for the ball. He saw the ball. He caught the ball. The DB certainly wasn't aware.
You need to finish that with a touchdown, though, number 80. You can't fuddle the ball out of bounds.
That was a hell of a catch. Are you kidding me? He really used his head in that play.
Really? The elbow?
That's
the
right.
elbow? You want
right.
to sell that?
Yeah,
I'm not selling that to them. They would never accept that. They would reject that. You think it's funny, don't you?
Do you question if this first baseman made that understandable mistake?
All right, we go out China. China professional baseball. We got 2 outs, and here is a ground ball to first base. What happened?
Oh,
no.
You forgot something, my man.
Oh, is it understandable?
No.
No?
No. What level, what series is this? Is this some sort of championship series? Could this be the Bill Buckner of China right here? Because this is worse. He thought it was in his glove. It's not even in there. He's looking for it. Oh, I forgot something.
That is a wonderful realization for him to make a step from the bag. Hey, my glove feels lighter than it usually does.
That first baseman really dropped the ball, huh? Really dropped the ball.
We can do this with all of these. All right, let's see what the joke is at the end of this next one.
Do you question if this stunt had potential?
This is the foremost authority. This desk, this show, this studio on stunts involving fire at ESPN. No one's covered it better than this show right here. We pride ourselves on it. Let's go out and see what happens here. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That is one of the most horrifying things I have ever seen. This is amazing.
That is the worst that could have gone. It could not have gone any worse for this man. When he played out the worst case scenario, that was
Not true. Could have gone a little worse. He could have not been able to get up from the fire, in which case we probably wouldn't have shown you this video.
Face went directly into the fire, Dan.
That stunt really backfired.
You were laughing before you even got to the fire. It backfired. You were laughing early, man.
That stunt really lit the fire under his. You see that?
What a fire in his face, man.
That was lit.
That one was okay.
You should write this down.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that is going to wear lingerie for Halloween. See? Oh, no.
I thought lingerie would be the tough word, not Halloween. You tell us what to watch on television tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued.
Don't do it.
On NBA TV, 76ers and Pistons.
Oh, look how excited the voice was. The 76ers have 2 of these players that you want to watch. Joel Embiid is a bit of a freak of nature here. This is him against the Magic. And, human beings that size at other times. Oh, and he Euro steps all the way back to the bench. Yes, this is why people hate him. Right here. It's why fans love him. It's why every opposing team wants to fight him.
Nobody knows.
Except look at the size of him. Why would you fight him? Izzy, are you intrigued?
I'm very much intrigued. Also, they were playing the Orlando Magic, who beat Boston in Boston. Just to let you know, we still don't know who's good yet in the Eastern Conference.
Well, we know it's not Orlando. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? You know, this is the basketball game that I've been looking for this week. You know what I mean? The Sixers against the Magic. Are you kidding me?
Was not true. You didn't even remember what the game was. He had to look down at the sheet. He didn't know anything here.
It isn't on the sheet.
It isn't on the sheet.
They stuff something.
I know, it says
Shark, you know. That's right.
Where's his cheat sheet?
On NBC Sports Network, Sharks and Predators.
The coach of the Predators, Papi, made a bet with his team. If they could get 4 points on the road, he would do something that would shock the world. Both continents over here. Let's see what happens.
No questions today? I don't know where I'm
Here it is.
What's the story on the headgear?
I'm making good on a deal with the player.
What is the deal?
We have a challenge. I'm into Western Canada against 2 good hockey teams. Take 4 points. And this is the back end of the challenge.
Okay.
I think we'd all like to see Belichick interviewed like that. Wouldn't that be a lot more fun in those press conferences? Izzy, are you intrigued?
No, but you stole my idea. I love this. Like, imagine the Minnesota Timberwolves, Tom Thibodeau going up to his team and says, listen, we get 3 out of 4 on this road trip. I'm doing all of my interviews in my underwear. Guaranteed the Timberwolves will win the first 3 games and settle that bet right away.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? That's the man of his words. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what happened. He came out there and he faced the music. You know what I mean? He showed his team that he was a true leader. You know, they gave him 4 points and he made a fool of himself. You know what I mean? That's all he counts. You know what I mean? That's right. The players, they respect that type of a coach. You know, even if he loses every game moving forward, you know, at least he can say, I wore that moose hat, you know, that moose face, you know what I mean? Or mask, whatever you call it.
Certainly wasn't a moose.
It was not a moose.
What was it?
I don't know.
Looked like a moose to me without the horns, no?
Confused about
a hornless moose, no?
A hornless moose, which is an entirely
Hornless
different
moose.
species.
On Altitude Sports, Kings and Nuggets.
No, but the Nuggets do play a fun and good style of play. Gary Harris here, though. Let's check in with him. He is fouling Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant doesn't get the call. And Gary Harris knows that he fouled him. And Durant gets teed up because
he's making bad worse.
Yes, and Gary Harris knows, so he knows he got away with something. Look at that. Oh, don't anybody tell on me. Oh, that is guilt in his eyes and joy in his heart. Yes, as it should be. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I am very much intrigued. Not for the Kings, no offense, Sacramento, but Nikola Jokic had a 35-point, 12-rebound, 11-assist triple-double recently. Didn't miss a thing. I want to watch that guy play all the time.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued because the Sacramento Kings, they have a center there by the name of Willie Cauley-Stein. This guy is the real deal. He's the stopper. This is the guy that is going to push the Sacramento King to the finish line this year, boy. I'm telling you, he got all the tools on the tray. You know, he can block, he can shoot, he can rebound.
Hold on.
Wow.
That is the weakest prediction ever made. He's going to push the Sacramento Kings.
That's right. He's a smart pro.
What do you mean? 18-win finish line.
Yay!
Streaming on Bleacher Report, what are you eating?
This involves Charles Barkley. My father likes eating. Charles, he's not so keen on. What was Charles eating? Oh, okay. It's a blind taste.
That's like the greatest invention ever.
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme donut.
Wow.
Yeah, that was easy. I can even tell the difference in donuts, brother. Man, this is some nasty stuff, whatever it is. It smells nasty. Ugh! Man, this is some nasty fish stuff.
You should get a check mark there.
Well, this is too easy.
That's like some type of fruit. It's not an apple. I've had this before, and it's not one of my favorites. What is it?
Bananas.
Oh my God, that's why. I hate bananas. What?
Wow, that was interesting. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I mean, I'm all in for Charles Barkley doing a lot of things blindfolded, but I have a question. Does this sound help you taste food better? Because I don't get it.
Yeah, Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Hey, Charles, how do these taste?
Oh, really?
That's right. How do they taste?
That was not a quickest draw from the gunslinger there.
Had to make sure we had Charles' attention there.
He put down his arms and he just stuck out his belly, and then it was a very slow rise to 2 middle fingers.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
I'm sorry, Charles. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Not sorry. All right, here you go.
Right here, Papi. Right. Oh,
Wait.
I'm sorry. We lost it. Here we go. All right. Here we go.
A little higher. There you go.
Oh. That's a banana.
Yeah. Of course.